My name's Jerusha Sukthio-Rath and you're watching News 24 Live. Now, it's certainly different what you're seeing behind me. In fact, I appear to be sitting in front of the Union buildings with a few Nelson Mandelas. But Amy Lee Band is joining me in studio and she's going to tell us why. Amy, thanks so much for coming through.
Thanks for having me.
Now, you have just treated us to the most extraordinary puppet show. Tell us what it's about.
Well, Puppet World is an educational puppet company, and we have been working on the life of Mandela, focused on junior primary children. Recently it was introduced into the syllabus, and teachers were struggling with how to angle it on their level, and we decided to create a show that was interactive and fun and very educational, and was able to tell a story that children really need to hear.
The extraordinary thing about this show is that it starts from the time Madiba was a child and goes all the way through to his death. And it's done so skillfully using different puppets and different backdrops. Why is it important to you that we tell Madiba's whole story?
Well, it was quite difficult to get such a big life into such a, such a condensed story. So Heather, the lady who created the show, she worked on the children's version of The Long Walk to Freedom, and that helped her, choose which things are important, and then also using music. And the music inspires the story, and that's a big part of our culture, and as South Africans, we respond to music. So those were the two kind of basic elements she used. Yeah.
And as I watched it, I got so many flashbacks to remembering certain things, watching them on television with my parents, or being told stories about Mandela's life, even ranging through to the World Cup and then the Soccer World Cup. There's something about this show that really, it leaves you with a lump in your throat. How do you experience that?
Well, my experience of that, I have to remember that I need to keep it together sometimes, because seeing the way that the children respond, they are so spontaneous and so unfiltered in the way that they respond, and I find it very inspiring. And so we can, even some of the teachers, when we're looking back on memories, for us and for older generations it's memory, but for the youth they need to remember. So we try and bring it in a way that they can relate to. And yeah, it's quite amazing to see that the children that we've performed the show for, how they respond so positively, and that they really want goodness in our country. That's the feeling that I get from the way that the children speak and the way that they respond, and they get quite emotionally involved. And I think that is, using the medium of puppetry to teach, it really allows for that message to be remembered. And I think that's what, for me, is the most powerful thing about it.
Now, we have an array of Madibas and a de Klerk stuck on the end there.
Yeah.
Why don't you talk us through what we're seeing here?
So in the beginning we have the young Mandela, before he was in jail, when he was speaking about his beliefs and forming his political alliances. And then we have a little bit of an older Mandela, 27 years after prison. It will age you. This is when he was released. Very spiffy. And then we have Mandela, wearing that World Cup jersey, which I think this scene really touches people, because rugby represented the white man's sport, and the fact that he just broke all those barriers and made this decision. I think him wearing the World Cup jersey, and it was just incredible. And that's a very emotional scene. For a lot of teachers do cry sometimes in that scene. And then we have Mandela,
I love this one,
a little bit older, during the World Cup, Soccer World Cup.
But he's wearing one of his trademark Madiba shirts.
Exactly.
I like that.
His colors, and I think we bring this in, because the children remember the Soccer World Cup, and we try, before the sanctions were lifted, and when countries were against what we were standing for, we weren't allowed to be part of that. And the children get very upset when I say that there was no Soccer World Cup, because that's something they're very attached to. And then of course we have de Klerk. And yeah, I think it was quite amazing the way that de Klerk was active in that time, yeah.
Now, Amy, there is a villain in this puppet show, a real life villain too, but I have to say that his portrayal in the show is something to behold.
So we bring up DF Milan when we speak about the law of apartheid,
Oh
and we explain what that law meant, and the children really, I mean, if they're not laughing when he comes up, they are almost looking a bit terrified.
Who wouldn't be terrified of that?
Yes, and I think we needed to portray him in this light.
A fair representation, I think.
Yes.
The glasses are a nice touch. So tell us a little bit more about Puppet World. I'm sure that the viewers who are watching this are desperate to find out more information. And if a teacher, an educator, principal wants to invite you to their school, how can they do that?
Sure. So Puppet World is a national company. We run in Joburg, Durban. We drive to lots of different areas, and in Cape Town, I'm the representative for Cape Town. We do different educational shows. This one is mainly based at primary school, but we do themed shows from age 2 as well. And we work on the syllabus each term according to what they would be learning, body image, occupations, and we create stories around those themes. If schools want to book us, they can go to www.puppetworld.co.za, speak to our booking office, Hayley in Durban. And we also do kids' parties, obviously not Mandela related, more fantasy related. And yeah, and businesses and individuals are also welcome to sponsor schools that aren't able to afford these kinds of things. The schools and the child pays Puppet World, and we're looking to expand just to, you know, cover a larger area. Yeah.
Well, we'll certainly put those website details below this video. And Emily, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us. Thank you.